Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to the episode of my F1 2019 career mode, episode number 98 today for the Belgian Grand Prix in Season 5. If you guys did miss the previous one, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. But heading into Spa, then we've got no upgrades on the car, but obviously the car did perform a lot better at the Hungarian GP. I think you'll agree we got somewhat lucky as well, but the car itself also had some decent pace, and we did, well, basically pulling off another miracle, essentially, and got a win at the Hungarian GP, spoiler alert. But fantastic race there. The safety car, though, did definitely help us out. But the car, like I said, felt quick. So I think here at Belgium, we can go well again. It's generally a track I love doing, and it's a good one for me on the game. So looking forward to it. There's going to be a bit of rain for Saturday, maybe. So a bit of a spanner in the works in that kind of sense. But I think we can still go well and hopefully make it through the sessions and actually qualify well for once. So let's go through into Saturday and see how we do over one lap.
It's qualifying time at Spa, one of the mightiest tracks on the Formula One calendar. Long straights, up and downhill, Eau Rouge as well. This track isn't for the faint-hearted. The competition is certainly heating up as we head into today's qualifying. Some impressive times showing up during the previous practice sessions. Anthony Davidson, do you think we can expect a similar level of skill to be showcased during today's qualifier?
Well, I certainly hope so. The competition here is extremely tight, and I think we might see some very close times today. Remember, practice isn't just about fastest lap times though, it's about optimization, it's about ratifying your decisions. No one's going to be sweating small mistakes here and there, but in qualifying that all changes. You need to nail that perfect lap or face the consequences, and believe me, that's a lot of pressure.
Alright, so diving into Q1 then, and let's start off flying lap then into turn 1, and the car feeling a little bit understeery through that first turn, but generally always is in the first few laps, trying to get the car kind of dialed into the circuit, if you will. Bit of traffic here with the Toro Rosso at the start of the lap, and at the end of the lap as well, we've got some traffic of the Red Bull, which I catch very awkwardly there, and just about miss at the apex. We come through nonetheless. It's been a pretty decent lap there, and so we come across the line, and it's going to be P1, and it will be P1 for the entire session there. So straight away, that is a statement of intent there. P1 in the first session of qualifying. Obviously, it doesn't really count for much, but still a statement of intent. Russell there in P5 as well, so the car looks to have carried over the pace from the Hungarian GP. So, I don't know, maybe that tiny one minor upgrade we got at Hungary, or I think it was a minor upgrade at Hungary, that was maybe the missing piece, or maybe this is just a case of this is the portion of the season where the car starts to suit the tracks, because I said that at Hungary, maybe the last few tracks just haven't suited our car. We go through across the line in Q2 then, when it's overcast here, up in P3. We go for another lap, because I didn't think that was too great, but the rain starts to come down. So I'm not going to lie, that was a little bit concerning when we started this lap, that this may not be good enough here, and we've been here before, we've been knocked out when we haven't had a second chance to go, but to my surprise, we actually make it through then with that first lap time in P6, Russell up in P2, so definitely showing the car actually has pace, because, you know, I was P1 in Q1, and he was in P2 in Q2. So, I don't know, maybe one of us will be in P3 in Q3. Let's see. But we now move on into that top 10 shootout, and it is now fully wet, intermediate conditions here. So, I wasn't feeling too confident about what the car could do. It didn't feel too bad, but obviously, generally, the AI is just so good in the wet conditions, and I just particularly don't favour them. So, I wasn't too confident, but we'll see how it goes. We go across the line, P2 at the moment. We're going to go for another consecutive lap time here, because I thought maybe I'd get a bit of confidence just going again, and I was correct on that, as we gained a lot of time in sectors 1 through turns 1, and then sector 2 as well, but the first sector definitely gained a bit more time, being a bit more confident under braking into turn 1. But as we go through on the back straight, you'll notice on the bottom right there, our car starts to bog down, and it's because we're in low fuel mode now. So my car didn't have enough fuel for that second run, which is very surprising and annoying. It's surprising because the engine's been upgraded so many times this season now, the fuel efficiency is really good, so I thought we could definitely go and max fuel mixture for 2 laps in a row, but obviously Spa's quite a long lap, so it's fair enough, I guess, but that was rather annoying, so we have to go again, like go back to the garage and get a new set of tyres then, but we are going to improve on this lap as well. You can see on the top right there, not too much as we did on that second lap, but across the line nonetheless to improve our time up into what will be the front row of the grid, second place. I will very much take that, because I thought we were going to be sitting where Russell was in P7, but no, had some decent pace. I mean, Lucas Weber's lap time has been insane compared to mine and the rest of the grid, to be fair, so the pole man has earned it there, the German in the Renault, but I'm very happy with second place. From here, maybe the best place to be at the Belgian Grand Prix, because it allows us to get the slipstream down the Kemmel straight to maybe get into first place at the end of lap number 1, either way on the Kemmel straight or the back straight rather, so, you know, I think second place is almost a good place to be for this GP. So I'm quietly confident that this car now has the pace, suddenly, to win races. I mean, at Hungary, we had the upgrade. It worked out. Obviously, we got some luck. So maybe this race is the one where we have to kind of prove to ourselves and to basically all of us here that this car actually maybe can now start to win races and actually challenge for a championship if we have the pace to go for the win this race without any safety car luck. So let's go for it then. Let's go to the grid and see how we do.
In the 48 races held at Spa between 1950 and 2015, the race winner has only started from pole position on 16 occasions. Qualifying yesterday may have set the order for today, but expect the unexpected here at the Belgian Grand Prix. As the saying goes, of course, anything can happen. And you know what? It usually does. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track is a great one for fans of pure speed. The average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles an hour. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's start by getting your take on Romain Grosjean. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lucas Weber lines up on pole position and the engineer completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Gasly, Sergio Perez, and Hamilton, Russell, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, and Daniel Kvyat. Butler, Norris, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Leclerc. Raikkonen, Stroll, Valtteri Bottas and Sebastian Vettel. Magnussen and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Right, so the strategy will be a one-stop from the soft tyre to the mediums. We have to start on that soft tyre we qualified on in Q2. Despite it raining at the end, we already set the time basically on that tyre, so we still have to use that compound, even if it was raining in Q3. So onto the mediums, but the tyre really shouldn't be an issue. You can see the hard tyres aren't even in question in this strategy. They really haven't been for 3 seasons now. I think since Season 2, we haven't really used the hard tyres at the Belgian Grand Prix. So feeling fine about that. Fuel-wise, going to lower that, of course, and make sure we don't carry too much fuel, but also enough to use rich mix. Of course, going to need it to try and overtake Weber at the start of this race potentially, but we're already ahead of Hamilton, so that's good news for myself and Weber, I guess, and so we're just trying to get the best result we can really, and hoping Russell can maybe join us later on in the race if he can try and make his way through. But here we go then towards 5 red lights to the Belgian Grand Prix. It's been a great qualifying for us in the second row. Can we make an even better race? Here we go, 5 lights are out and we're underway. It's a good start for Lucas Weber, a very poor one for me actually, horrendous start for me. Gasly around the left-hand side. Verstappen even sends it to the inside. We just about try and get a car through, and threading the kind of car like the needle through haystack there of Gasly and Verstappen. And actually Gasly gets forced out so much so that Russell now is up into P5. I think that is there, or maybe even P4, but we maintain our P2 then off the grid. And like I said, that may be the best place to be, because here we go then with slipstream. No DRS, remember, it's not activated yet, but pure slipstream. It's so powerful around this circuit. We're going to try and go around the outside, a little bit of contact made, and Weber just pulls it through though. He has the momentum on the right hand side there. I got on the curb a little bit too much there. We tried to have a look on the right, then go to the left there. Again, unable to make anything work, but Weber a little bit wide. We go through into the apex there, rubbing his left rear tyre. There, his right rear tyre with my left front. We had a little look once more, but nothing comes of it there. So we have to wait until that back straight. But like I said, the back straight equally is just as good as the Kemmel straight. So here we go then, forcing the move to the inside, delicately under braking, lock up on the front right there, a little bit of contact made with Weber at the apex of the chicane, but we're through on the outside, up into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Second the fast lap of the Grand Prix, of course, as I'm the first to cross the line there. But great start for the entire team then. So I'm up into first place. I'm pretty sure Russell is up into P5 or 4. So he's behind the 2 Renaults there. So he could also try and maybe make his way up through. And it could be a very strong Ferrari podium, dare I say. Let's see as it progresses. But for me, at the moment, the more immediate thing will be trying to defend against Lucas Weber, of course. Just like I had a good toe on this straight, he will as well as Verstappen, though. You can see actually Verstappen is the one making the move there for P2 rather than any of them coming for my P1 there. So those 2 Renaults side by side. Verstappen actually is up into second place now as we go through to the end of lap number 2, although I think they're still maybe battling away in the mirrors there. Weber's still tucked up behind Verstappen, and I think I can just about see there on the left mirror as we came through the chicane that Russell is into P4. Verstappen now goes down the inside into turn 1. You can see that I've made it easy for him on purpose, gone to none ERS on purpose to make sure we get tucked up behind, because we've got to play this tactically here until we get up into his slipstream. We're actually going to maybe make a move into Rouge side by side, round the outside, up the hill, and we've made it up into P1. What a move there on the outside of Verstappen there, flat out there, little lift off to give him some room, but we've made it work, and now the 2 Renaults again are side by side squabbling, and this time I think is Weber now going to get back into P2. No, Verstappen maintains the P2, Weber P3, and you can see confirmation there, Russell is in P4, so it's Renault v Ferrari there at the moment at the Belgian Grand Prix. And now you can see Weber going down at the inside there of Verstappen, the 2 at it again for a 3rd lap now. Can Russell maybe get in the mix here, catch one of them, napping basically, and use maybe the double toe down the Kemmel straight to get him? I'm trying to kind of wish this into existence maybe by talking about this, so let's carry on and watch this. But the 2 Renaults, I want to say, this is actually an insane battle. They're so equally matched, it would seem. I mean, now they're side by side, up Rouge, up the hill to the Kemmel straight there, and there's just a little bit of contact there as Verstappen squeezes Weber out, I think that is. And so here comes Russell charging with the DRS, gets the toe off 1 Renault, then the 2nd Renault. Can he just pull this through for P2 or P3? No, it'll be P3 in the end. He'll have to finish that move off though, because I think Weber comes back at him there. No, that's Verstappen, my bad. So Weber's up into 2nd place. Verstappen is now fighting Russell, and so now they're side by side. Russell to the inside, but look at this. This is actually insane battling. This is glorious stuff here to watch at this Grand Prix. But Russell, the long way round on this left-hander with no name here. It's such an unorthodox place to make a move, but he's made it work. He gets the traction, and then on the outside of Pouon, he's finished it. What a move by George Russell. What great racing between Russell and Verstappen there. But that is the George Russell from the British Grand Prix episode there. He is looking punchy as ever at this Grand Prix. But we're now back onto our POV, on towards lap number 6 then of this GP, still leading the way from Weber. Verstappen's up into 3rd place actually, so he's got that place back then. So Russell's dropped back down to P4. You can see kind of parking the car in the middle of the circuit, and at the moment I'm going to try and set something very clever up here. You can see Weber right up my chuff. You can see we're trying to back them up. The 2 Renaults are side by side up the hill, but what I'm trying to do is trying to play a little bit of a tactical kind of blockade and trying to see if I can navigate Russell through these guys and make it a Ferrari 1-2. Weber comes to attack me. We have to first of all defend against him, but there goes Russell to the inside there. It's a checkerboard of Ferrari Renault. Russell goes around the outside of Verstappen. Weber's still P2. We managed to maintain the P1, but now we try and force his hand. We invite him in on the outside there, and then we're going to try and squeeze him out. No contact made, just squeeze him out, and then Russell is able to send it through to the inside, to the outside for the next corner. We know he's done it once, he can do it twice again on the exit, gets the power down, gets the acceleration, and into Pouon, will confirm up into P2, and so that is now a Ferrari 1-2. That is how you have the Renault F1 team on literal strings there, literally puppeteering them where I want them to be. You can see Russell on the inside, gets the move, great job there to get back at Verstappen and get the 3rd place back, but then this was absolutely awesome there. So invite Weber in, we just squeeze him out. You can see on this POV, no contacts made, little, maybe a tiny tap on the front right tire, but then Russell, it's all him to do. If he doesn't go down the inside and he doesn't commit to this next exit of this corner, it's not going to happen. So kudos to Russell for actually seeing the gap opening, and you can see Verstappen actually tries to go down the inside of Weber there as well. So the 2 Renaults are still going at it hammer and tong for P3 or P2, whatever it'll be. But no, it's a 1-2 for Ferrari then, and Hamilton is all the way down in like P8 or P9, I think it is at the moment in this GP. So absolutely biblical final scenes here. This might be the first time this season, I think, that the Ferrari team have been leading 1-2. I know we've obviously led the Grand Prix before this season, but I think it's the first time this season that we've had a 1-2 ever in any point of any race so far. So this is absolutely awesome stuff to be to witness. So at the moment, Perez now is in P3 with the fast lap of the Grand Prix. I believe Weber has pit, and potentially looks like Perez has been on a charge and he's overtaken Verstappen then. But on lap 8, trying to do a little bit of slipstreaming teamwork here with Russell. So I'm in non-ERS mode in lean mixture, letting him through on purpose into P1 because he's got a great toe there and pulled up and closed up to me. And we'll try and do the same base on the very next lap as we move on to lap number 9. We're still going, both myself and Russell. It looks like both Weber, Verstappen and Perez now pit. Gasly's the only one here in P3 behind me. So it looks like the other guys, the other teams, they don't have the tyre wear for this, whereas myself and Russell, it's a comfortable one-stop onto mediums. Maybe they've gone to hard tyres and they're going to pit that early because we're going 2-3 laps longer than everyone. But you can see purple first sector there, so we get the slingshot back from Russell there. He comes in on this lap, so actually technically in hindsight he may have it may have been better to do the slingshot maybe one lap later, basically, because then I could have just got the toe and gone on for this lap without, with the clean air, and he could have got a toe on his in lap there. But alas, anyway, either way, we maintain P1. We fast have the Grand Prix whilst we do it. Gasly still is there P2, but now he's pit as well, so everyone's pit pretty much apart from myself. So we're the last guy to come in from the top flight, at least, for our pit stop here. Giovinazzi on mediums. He started on mediums, so I believe he's going to take the lead of the GP momentarily here, but we'll still be in a net P1, I believe. At least I hope so. I mean, it'll be a calamity if we're not. But I wonder where Russell is in comparison to Weber and Verstappen. And also what tyres they're on. Because if they're on the hard tyres, then even if we're behind them, we have the advantage of having the better compounded tyre. The tyre wear is really not an issue for us at Ferrari. It's been mega the entire season, really. So we come through now, out the pit lane exit, and there is Lucas Weber there. So we're up into P2. It'll be a net P1 eventually once Giovinazzi pits. But Weber is on the soft compound of tyre. So he's doing a 2-stop then. He has to, because he has to change his compounded tyre. You have to change at least once when it's a fully dry race. So I don't know what on earth Renault are playing at, but they've pretty much already shot themselves in the foot here, because I'm now up into P1 once more because Giovinazzi pits. We're in lap number 12, about halfway through this Grand Prix gone, and Russell's in P3 in mediums. He's just right there behind him, and we know that myself and Russell are going to the end of the Grand Prix. So Weber is basically, he's done for. I'm trying to find the right word without plainly just cussing him out, basically, because Renault really have fudged this entire race up, basically, for themselves. They're giving themselves no chance. You can see here, Weber's coming through with DRS. But there's no point. Like, even if he overtakes us, it's not an issue. But I defend against him anyway, and we just about hang on into P1 there with the lock on the front right there, slowing the car down and keeping it within the white lines there. But Weber comes back through, and you can see him on non-ERS, because there's no point to be pushing at the moment here, because it doesn't matter if he overtakes us. He has to make a whole pit stop ahead of us, so that's about 15 seconds minimum he has to pull onto us. So he goes round the outside, fair play, he's going to overtake us. We'll try and go for the switchback move then and try and get the place done. So at the moment, I'm just kind of having some fun basically with racing him, but I know for a guarantee that he's going to pit, and there's no way he's going to be able to pull this back. No chance. And at the moment, I'm still going to be able to close up to him. He's not going to pull away and gain 15 seconds. You can see he's kind of waltzed off quite quickly there on the exit, but as soon as he kicked the engine back up into hot lap mode and overtake mode, and rich mix there, we'll just pull back through, up the hill, down the Kemmel straight, open the DRS, overtake mode, engage. We're actually going to have to standing mixture to save some fuel on the engine temps, and we go through on the right-hand side. Easy does it, back up into first place there. So, yeah, Weber's got no chance, Verstappen's got no chance, and actually Renault might end up getting some really low points, and the likes of Hamilton might actually finish ahead of them now, if they, because I'm assuming the likes of Hamilton and all them are doing a one-stop. So there goes Weber into the pit lane, and so it's once again a 1-2 for Scuderia Ferrari, myself in first place, Russell in P2. We've got 7 laps left to go in this Grand Prix, so pretty much now we just try and control this race, go cruise control a little bit basically, and hope that Russell doesn't attack us too much, and we're through for the win. And so we come through on lap 21, all was well as we came through the back straight here onto the last lap of the Grand Prix, until you're about to see on the top left here, Weber, I think it is, on the fresher tyres of course, because he's made a second stop here in this Grand Prix, is about to nick my fast lap of the Grand Prix. So as we come through into the last lap, pretty nice timing actually there of when he does it. But as we come through, we're going to kick this up. I wanted to go fast at the end of that, at the end of the race anyway, but unintentionally, it's going to be useful to us because we're on hot lap mode, rich mix. I mean, you're going standard and high this entire time, but as you're about to see, once Weber crosses the line, he's about to steal my fast lap of the Grand Prix here. There he goes. So I'm actually now definitely pushing for the entirety of this last lap to try and get the fast lap of the Grand Prix back, because of course that's one extra point and every little could count at the end of this season. So we push on, we set a purple second sector, red first sector actually though, but the second sector was a lot better, and so we come through the last few corners here, and it's going to be not only the win, not only with the fast lap of the Grand Prix, it's also going to be leading away a 1-2 for Scuderia Ferrari in Season 5. How do you like that?
Absolutely awesome, just amazing, well done.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race it was. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So you know how I said last episode that may be the kickstart of our actual season and title challenge this season, Season 5 of Career Mode? I think we can definitely call that the kickstart now, because now we've got 2 wins on the bounce. The first 1-2 for Ferrari, not just with me. I'm pretty sure the AI team of Ferrari never got a 1-2 for a long while, really, because last season it was all kind of Mercedes and kind of Toro Rosso and kind of Renault still. So it's been a long, long while, I guess, since the Ferrari in this Career Mode save have got a 1-2. And now we actually look a little bit more likely to maybe try and challenge Mercedes and McLaren for P2 in the championship. Maybe, I'm not too sure about P1, because Renault looks so consistent. They were a little bit poor this race, but they've been so consistent, they've got quite a big gap in the constructors. But now it's looking likely that if we continue this sort of form, we could actually generally try and challenge and nick P2 in the constructors off Mercedes and McLaren. And for the championship, well, we've kick-started it completely now. So there now, we're in second place ahead of Weber and Lando Norris. We're still 12 points off Hamilton, so that's still quite a decent chunk of points in terms of a career mode of mine in F1 2019, but obviously now it seems like, for whatever reason, the car is really taking to these circuits, and the pace is genuinely there, and you can tell that because Russell's also there in P2. Absolutely wonderful stuff there. The most tactical race I've ever done on this game, I think, in terms of trying to navigate the 2 Renaults, defending against Weber whilst also trying to block off Verstappen's line to box him in a little bit, then making sure we can try and push Weber wide to get Russell through, trying to play basically chess at 180 miles per hour there, but it worked out. And if you guys enjoyed that race, then be sure to smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been Aarava. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.